They thought they could outshine you. They thought their voices, their whispers, their attacks, and their jealousy could drown out the quiet radiance that you carried within. For so long, they pushed, mocked, and underestimated you, believing that you would remain in the background forever. Yet, destiny has a way of exposing truth, and truth always has a way of coming to light. Suddenly, without warning, their plans fell apart because your inner strength began to glow brighter than they ever imagined. You didn't have to shout. You didn't have to fight. You simply stood in your authenticity, and that authenticity became the very light that set you apart. The revelation was undeniable. Where once you were overlooked, now you could not be ignored. Those who tried to minimize you found themselves unsettled, unable to comprehend how the very person they thought they had silenced was now the one commanding the room with presence alone. They spoke, they argued, they resisted, but none of it mattered. Because the moment your light touched the atmosphere, it became impossible for anyone to deny it. And this was not just about you being seen, it was about them being forced into their rightful place. The balance shifted. Those who sought to stand above you were suddenly reminded that the ground beneath them was never theirs to control. You see, true shining does not come from ego, nor does it come from the approval of others. It comes from resilience, from walking through silence, from enduring what was meant to break you and still choosing to rise. Every setback you faced, every betrayal you endured, every shadow that tried to swallow you, none of it dimmed you. It only refined you. That's why your enemies cannot stand in your presence now. They see the glow that suffering produced, the clarity that waiting gave you, and the strength that only trials could have carved into your soul. Their attempts to reduce you became the very tools that elevated you. Now the shift is visible. The ones who once laughed now look away in discomfort. The ones who once dismissed you now whisper in the back, wondering how you managed to rise after everything. And those who once stood boldly against you find themselves shrinking because they realize that their efforts to stop you only highlighted your resilience. This is the paradox. They thought they were burying you, but they were planting a seed. And that seed, watered by endurance and faith, has grown into something unshakable. There is no greater justice than this. You didn't have to lift a finger for vindication. You didn't have to prove your worth in their language. Life itself became your defense, and destiny itself became your advocate. That's why those who opposed you are now being set in their place, not by your hands, but by the order of truth. The brilliance of your being revealed the shadows in theirs, and shadows cannot stand against light. They are forced to retreat, not because you demanded it, but because nature itself requires it. This is why you shine now, not just for yourself, but as a reminder to everyone watching that authenticity always wins, that those who are chosen cannot be erased, that no matter how loud the opposition, truth will always be louder in the end. And as your enemies scatter into their places, unable to deny what stands before them, you rise higher, steadier, brighter, knowing that nothing can stop what has already begun. You did not arrive here by coincidence. The very fact that you are listening to these words is already proof that alignment is happening in your life. The universe has ways of guiding you into moments that matter, and this is one of them. What is unfolding before you is not just a story about conflict or opposition. It is about fulfillment, about the release of energy, and about stepping into your own radiance. That is why, before we go deeper, I invite you into something powerful. Watch this video until the very end. Let the words flow into your heart, and let the energy of this message surround you. When you are finished, write your most sincere wishes in the comments, seal them with 777, and let them go into the universe as a declaration of faith. Do this with trust, not doubt, and allow yourself to believe that what you send out will return to you multiplied. And if these words touch your spirit, subscribe, so that this journey of truth and revelation continues to unfold in your life. This moment is about wishes being fulfilled, about energy being released, and about doors opening that no one can shut. Now let us return to the heart of the message. What happens when you shine, when your inner light can no longer be hidden, is that the atmosphere itself begins to shift. Those who once stood tall in arrogance suddenly feel small. Those who whispered against you find themselves silenced by the very reality they denied. This is what it means when the tables turn. Not through revenge, not through retaliation, but through revelation. Your strength, your clarity, your authenticity became the very answer to every word spoken against you. And in that moment, your enemies found themselves exactly where they belong, no longer standing over you, but forced into the place that truth has assigned them. It is a humbling experience for those who once believed they held power over your story. They thought their opinions would define you, that their rejection would break you, that their arguments would stop you. Yet here you stand, glowing in the fullness of who you are, untouched by their noise, stronger because of what you endured. They cannot understand it because they never lived your journey. They didn't feel the nights of silence, the days of struggle, the weight of being misunderstood. They only saw fragments. But you lived the process, and that process built something in you that cannot be erased. That is why they cannot look at you now without feeling exposed. Your shine is not ordinary. It is forged. Forged in pain, in waiting, in rejection, in long seasons of carrying weight you could not speak of. That kind of light cannot be dimmed, no matter how many voices rise against it. And that is why the universe has placed you in a position where your enemies are no longer the ones controlling the narrative. They are no longer the ones speaking with authority about you. Their words are falling flat, because your presence itself speaks louder than any sentence they could ever craft. What you must remember is this: vindication does not require your effort. You are not tasked with proving them wrong. Life is doing that for you. Every step you take forward is proof. Every door that opens for you is proof. Every moment you continue to shine despite their doubt is proof. And proof is something no argument can erase. Their debates, their resistance, their attacks, none of it can withstand the weight of evidence that your existence carries. So while they fight to reclaim the control they once thought they had, you keep moving. You do not need to stop and explain yourself. You do not need to give energy to every voice that rises against you. The chosen walk differently. They understand that silence can be more powerful than words. They understand that progress is the only answer to opposition. And you, right now, are walking in that truth. The more you shine, the more uncomfortable they become. But discomfort is not your burden to carry. It is their own reflection. They see in you what they tried to hide in themselves. And the more you live authentically, the more they are forced to confront the truth they tried to bury. That is why they are being put in their place. Not by your hands, not by your anger, but by the undeniable power of truth itself. There is a kind of silence that follows revelation, but it is not the silence of peace. It is the silence of discomfort. When you began to shine, when your presence could no longer be overlooked, those who had positioned themselves above you were suddenly left without solid ground. They didn't expect the tables to turn, and certainly not in such a way that left them exposed. Their arguments fell flat. Their voices cracked under the weight of truth. And slowly, they began to realize that what they feared most had happened. You were no longer beneath them. You were no longer hidden. You were radiant, undeniable, and untouchable. Your enemies had spent so long constructing illusions about you. They painted you as weak. They spoke of you as irrelevant. They dismissed you as if your future would never surpass theirs. But when your true light began to break through, all those illusions collapsed. This is why they now scramble to redefine the story. This is why they argue amongst themselves. They cannot accept that the very person they underestimated is the one standing strong. while they are the ones being quietly placed in the position they always belonged. Their pride cannot reconcile the truth, and so their words become their last weapon. Yet even their words hold no real power anymore. The reason you shine now is not because you sought revenge. It is not because you lowered yourself into their games. It is because you rose above them, and in doing so, you allowed destiny to speak louder than any argument ever could. That is why people see you differently now. That is why your presence carries a weight it didn't before. When you enter a room, the atmosphere changes. Not because of what you say, but because of what you embody. Strength, resilience, authenticity. These are things your enemies cannot mimic, and they know it. That is why they resist, why they shift uncomfortably, why they are forced into silence, even as they try to speak. It is a humbling sight for those who once mocked you. They thought you would never rise, but here you are. They thought you would never overcome, but here you stand. They thought their words could break you, but instead, they became the very tools that proved your resilience. Every rumor they spread, every doubt they planted, every attempt they made to silence you has become part of the evidence of your endurance. And that endurance is what gives your light its power. Anyone can shine for a moment, but only those who endured what was meant to destroy them can shine in a way that cannot be extinguished. And now, your story speaks louder than their words. People notice the contrast. They notice the way your life keeps moving forward, while those who tried to hold you back seem stuck, bitter, and restless. They notice that your silence carries more weight than their noise. They notice that no matter how hard your enemies try to redefine the narrative, the truth has already been revealed and cannot be rewritten. This is what it means to be chosen. You are elevated not by manipulation, but by alignment. And alignment cannot be stopped by opposition. Think of it like this. A seed does not argue with the soil. It simply grows. It doesn't waste its energy explaining its process to the weeds around it. It simply rises, silently, steadily, until one day, its growth becomes undeniable. That is exactly what you have done. While others wasted their breath on arguments, you invested your energy into becoming. And now that you have become, they cannot deny what stands before them. Your very existence, your very shine, has put them in their rightful place without you lifting a finger. This is the lesson. You do not need to fight battles that life itself will fight for you. You do not need to defend yourself in rooms where truth is already speaking louder than lies. Your only responsibility is to keep walking, to keep growing, to keep shining. Because the more you shine, the less their voices matter. The brighter you glow, the smaller their words become, and eventually, their noise will fade completely, leaving only the undeniable truth that you rose when they expected you to fall. When light rises, it doesn't ask permission. It simply appears, and once it appears, the darkness must scatter. This is the reality you are living now. For so long, your enemies were confident that their shadows would always cover you, that their voices would always be louder than your presence. But now the order has reversed. Where once you were quiet in the corner, now you stand as the center. And it is their noise that sounds hollow, their power that looks fragile, their pride that seems misplaced. The chosen ones do not need to fight for attention. Their shine commands it without effort. And the brilliance of your rise has done more than unsettle those who opposed you. It has awakened those who watched silently. People who once believed the lies spoken about you are now realizing the truth. They see the evidence. They see the glow. They see the way you carry yourself with a strength that cannot be faked. Suddenly, the whispers of your enemies are drowned out, not by your words, but by the undeniable weight of your becoming. That is the kind of victory no argument can erase. For those who set themselves against you, This season has been humbling. They believed they held the higher ground. They believed that by pushing you down, they could elevate themselves. But when your light broke through, it revealed their weakness, their envy, their inability to stand in authenticity. And so, the universe placed them exactly where they belonged. Not above you, not beside you, but behind you. Every attempt they made to overshadow you has only highlighted the futility of fighting against someone destined to shine. It's not just about vindication, it's about alignment. You see, when you step into who you truly are, when you stop hiding, when you embrace the essence that was always within you, the world around you must reorganize itself. Those who tried to diminish you are now learning that they never had the authority they believed they did. Life itself has put them in their place, not out of cruelty, but out of balance. Because order always restores itself. Truth always reclaims its ground. Light always pushes darkness back. And in this realignment, you also discovered something about yourself. You learned that you never needed their approval to shine. You never needed their applause to confirm your worth. Their doubt may have been loud, but it was never your measure. Your growth was never dependent on their belief. It was dependent on your persistence, your resilience, your refusal to give up when the weight of opposition pressed hardest. And now, standing here, you are proof that resilience outlasts resistance. It is fascinating to watch the shift. People who once questioned you now look to you for answers. Those who once dismissed you now seek your presence. They may not say it aloud, but the energy has shifted, and everyone feels it. You are no longer overlooked. You are the one who defines the atmosphere. That is what happens when a chosen one embraces their shine. It doesn't just silence enemies, it inspires witnesses. And the more you step into that truth, the more lives are touched by your courage to simply be. Your enemies may still whisper. They may still search for ways to diminish you. But the truth is, they are already defeated. Not because you fought them, but because the light has already revealed what they are. They are exposed, their masks shattered, their pride reduced to dust. And no amount of denial can cover that. The same way light exposes dust in a room, your presence has exposed their intentions. That is why they shrink back. That is why their arguments ring empty. They are being put in their place by forces beyond your control, and nothing they do can change it. So, as you move forward, hold your head high. Don't waste your energy looking back. Don't waste your time listening to voices that no longer carry weight. The story has already shifted. The balance has already been restored. What remains for you now is to walk in the fullness of your identity, to let your shine continue to spread, and to embrace the truth that no one, not even your strongest enemies, can undo what has already been revealed. Every season of your life has been building toward this one. All the struggles, all the silent nights, all the moments where you questioned if anyone truly saw you, they were not wasted. They were preparing you for the unveiling you now walk in. This is why your shine is so disruptive to those who stood against you. They cannot understand how someone they thought they had broken still carries so much strength, so much presence, so much undeniable light. To them, it feels unfair. To you, it feels like justice. Because nothing can erase the truth that destiny always wins. Your enemies believed their words had power over you. They thought rejection would destroy you, that betrayal would silence you, that obstacles would drain you. But every trial only refined you. Every setback carved resilience into your spirit. Every attempt to bury you became part of the soil that helped you grow deeper roots. And now, as your true self stands revealed, you shine with a force that no one expected. That is why they stumble in confusion. That is why they are being quietly but firmly put in their place. They cannot fight what has already been established by something greater than them. There is a lesson here, one not only for you, but for anyone who witnesses your story. When a chosen one rises, it reveals the truth about everyone around them. Those who loved you genuinely are elevated by your glow, sharing in the warmth of your light. Those who pretended to support you are exposed, their envy shining through their false smiles. And those who openly opposed you find themselves shrinking, unable to maintain the illusion of superiority. Your journey has revealed not only who you are, but who they are. That revelation is part of the balance being restored. And as this balance unfolds, something deeper is happening within you. You no longer seek validation from the crowd. You no longer measure yourself by who applauds or who rejects. You understand now that your worth was never in their hands. The evidence of your resilience, the glow of your presence, the quiet power of your truth, these were always yours. The opposition only highlighted them, and now the world can no longer deny them. This shift is permanent. Once revealed, the truth cannot be hidden again. Think of how many times they tried to define you. They said you were too small, too weak, too ordinary. They whispered that you would never make it, that your voice would never matter, that your presence would never carry weight. And yet, here you are. Every word they spoke broken by your very existence. You didn't have to debate them. You didn't have to convince them. You simply lived. You endured. You grew. And the proof is undeniable. That is why their voices sound weaker now. That is why their resistance crumbles. They are not fighting you anymore. They are fighting the truth of what has already been revealed. And while they waste their energy in denial, you are moving forward. Step by step, door by door, moment by moment, you are rising higher. You are learning to invest your energy into growth rather than into defending yourself. You are learning that silence can be louder than noise, and progress can be stronger than arguments. The more you advance, the less their words matter. And one day soon, their debates will no longer even be remembered, while your journey continues to inspire those who are watching. This is what it means to truly shine. It is not about proving yourself to your enemies. It is not about demanding recognition. It is about embodying the truth so fully that no one can ignore it. Your life itself becomes the proof, and that proof is louder than any accusation. You are not defined by the battles they tried to drag you into. You are defined by the victory of having endured and still rising. That victory is what places your enemies where they belong, not above, not even beside, but beneath the weight of a truth they cannot undo. There is a shift that happens when time proves what arguments cannot. At first, people resist. They deny, they debate, they raise their voices to drown out what they don't want to accept. But as the days pass, as life continues to unfold, it becomes impossible for them to maintain the illusion. Truth has a way of pressing forward until even the loudest critics are left in silence. And this is the very place you now stand in. The shine that you carry is no longer something they can dismiss. It has become a constant, a reality that they are forced to face whether they like it or not. Your enemies thought this would be temporary. They believed your rise would last for a moment, that soon you would fade back into obscurity. But instead, your presence has only grown stronger. Every step you take forward solidifies the reality that you cannot be ignored. Every new opportunity that opens for you is proof that this is not a passing season, but a permanent transformation. And as your influence expands, those who opposed you find themselves with fewer words and fewer options. They are being put in their place, not by your revenge, not by your effort, but by the undeniable flow of destiny itself. Look at how the tables have turned. The very people who once dismissed you are now forced to acknowledge you. Some do it quietly, in the way they avoid eye contact or fall silent when your name is mentioned. Others do it openly, speaking words of respect they never thought they would have to say. Either way, the shift is clear. They are no longer in control of the narrative. You are no longer the one defending yourself. They are the ones explaining themselves. That is the power of revelation. It not only elevates the chosen one, it rearranges the entire atmosphere around them. But what makes this even more powerful is how you carry yourself through it. You didn't need to boast. You didn't need to lower yourself to the level of those who tried to tear you down. You walked with patience. You endured the whispers. You allowed the process to refine you instead of breaking you. And because of that, your shine carries a depth that can't be faked. It is not the shallow glow of momentary attention. It is the enduring brilliance of someone who has been through the fire and come out stronger. That is why your enemies cannot compete. They can mimic appearances, they can copy words, but they cannot replicate authenticity. And so, the balance continues to unfold. People are beginning to notice the difference between you and those who opposed you. They see the way you move forward while others remain stuck in bitterness. They see the way you continue to grow while others waste their energy on denial. And whether they admit it or not, they recognize that something greater is at work in your life. This is the kind of proof that does not need defending. It speaks for itself. You must also recognize something important. Your journey is not just about your enemies being humbled. It is about you stepping into the fullness of who you are. Their placement is a byproduct of your elevation. The real story is not their fall, but your rise. And that rise is only the beginning of what is unfolding for you. The same force that revealed you will continue to open doors, to align opportunities, to expand your influence. You were never meant to stay small, and now the world can see that for themselves. This is why your confidence grows stronger each day. Not because you seek validation from them, but because you have finally realized that you never needed it. The evidence of your resilience, the weight of your presence, the clarity of your vision. These are things no one can take from you. And as you continue to walk in them, your shine will only grow brighter. It is not arrogance. It is simply authenticity. And authenticity is unshakable. So let them step back into the shadows. Let them whisper. Let them resist. Let them argue amongst themselves. None of it matters anymore. The truth is established. The order has been restored. Your enemies are in the place they belong, and you are standing exactly where you were always meant to be. This is not the end of your story. It is only the foundation for what comes next. And as you move forward, remember this. No amount of noise can compete with the power of someone who has been revealed, refined, and chosen to shine. There comes a moment when the noise around you finally loses its power. For so long they talked, they argued, they resisted. They whispered doubts, they raised accusations, they tried to build walls around your path. But one by one, every wall collapsed, every rumor lost its weight, every attack fell silent. And in the end, there was only you, still standing, still shining, still carrying the strength they could not take away. That is what true vindication looks like. Not in arguments won, not in battles fought, but in simply surviving everything that was meant to break you and rising even higher because of it. Your enemies are not your focus anymore. They have been put in their place, not by your anger, but by the order of truth itself. You did not have to fight them for this outcome. Life itself fought on your behalf. Time exposed what words could not. The more they tried to hold you down, the more obvious it became that they were powerless to stop what was meant for you. And now, as the dust settles, the balance has been restored. Those who tried to overshadow you have faded into the background, and you have stepped fully into the light that was always yours. This light is not fleeting. It is not the shallow glow of attention or temporary praise. It is the deep, steady brilliance of resilience, authenticity, and destiny. You shine not because others approve of you, but because you endured when it would have been easier to quit. You shine because every trial became fuel for your growth. You shine because you remained true to yourself when the world tried to rewrite you. And now that shine cannot be hidden, cannot be denied, cannot be dimmed. What makes this moment powerful is not only that you rose above your enemies, it's that you have discovered yourself in the process. The chosen one does not only survive opposition, they are transformed by it. You are no longer the person who entered those battles. You are stronger, wiser, and freer. And the very weight that was meant to destroy you has become the proof of your strength. That is why no voice can shake you now. That is why no argument can distract you. You have already won, not by fighting, but by becoming. So let this be the conclusion. Your enemies are silenced, their power stripped away, their positions corrected. And you, shining in the fullness of who you are, walk forward into a future that belongs only to you. This is not just the end of a chapter. It is the beginning of a new one.